So Paul, tell us a bit about Giorgia.
Right, Giorgia was an incredibly vivacious, joyous child. I use joy as a word to describe Giorgia. There was a film some years ago that we went to see, and it was about emotions. It was a cartoon. I think it's called Inside Out, and there was a character in the film that was called Joy. And this character had so much joy that this joy was sometimes messing things up, and they didn't find their place because they just wanted to be just this joyous, happy person. They couldn't understand about misery and sadness. She just wanted everything to be joyous, and that's what she was. She was an incredibly passionate person. If she was happy, she was passionately happy. If she was sad, she was passionately sad. She was an artist. There were many people that had mentioned how accomplished her art was. She just loved to draw, loved to create things. She was just a constant doodler. So if she had a spare minute to herself, she'd be doodling something. When she'd present it to you, you just bowled over as to what she'd managed to create in that short space of time.
So can you tell me a little bit about what happened that day?
Claire and Giorgia had created a plan to sort of develop and build up Giorgia's confidence, and one of the things that they had decided that they would do would be for Claire to go out and leave her at home for a certain period of time. So it started off very small, with Claire going to the shops, say, and then coming back, and then this time grew longer. So this happened on that day. She was left to do her homework or some work at home, and when Claire got back with my son, Claire had asked my son Corey to go upstairs and tell his sister that she needed to prepare or get ready for her drumming lesson. He came back down to say that she was asleep, and Claire had said, well, can you go upstairs and let her know that she needs to go to her drumming lesson? So he went back upstairs to sort of either shout louder or whatever, and then he shouted down to Claire to let her know that she's not responding. So they both went upstairs to try and figure out what was going on, and found that she was non-responsive. I believe, from what I've told, that the paramedics got there probably within about 3 minutes, and they started what they do. And in that time, Claire had called me to say that something had happened. For some strange reason on that day, I had chosen to finish work a bit earlier, and when I got home, the street was closed off with ambulances everywhere, police cars, and I knew that this was something very serious. When I got in the house, I found paramedics working to revive Giorgia, and it's just the most horrendous thing that could happen. You go home and just your child, your little baby's just... They tried for well over an hour to try and revive her. There was a point during what they were doing that they had to come and let us know that if she was revived, that the Giorgia that we knew she wouldn't be the same, because it's been that long. And some minutes after that, they had decided to call time and say that there was no more that they could do. So at that period in time, we did not know what the cause of her death was. Once the coroner's report and the investigation had all come to a conclusion, they had worked out that her death was due to inhalation of aerosol. Now, when you say the word inhalation, some people think that you put something to your nose and you sniff it or whatever, but this wasn't the case. In this instant, she had sprayed too much underarm deodorant. She had sprayed some on a blanket, and she had wrapped herself up in it because she just loved the smell. It was more about the smell that she loved, more than for perspirant use. But she had sprayed too much, and the coroner's report had said that her death was caused by her inhaling too much of it.
And had you had any concerns before then?
As a parent, you're always looking out for things because you want to protect your children. You want to make sure that they're safe, and we had no concerns about anything to do with the aerosols. You walk into a supermarket, look at them on the shelf, you pick it up, you choose which one you think is going to work for you, and you walk out the store with it in your bag. You don't for 1 second think that there's something about this product that could harm me or a member of my family. There weren't any concerns that we had. We just didn't know. We want parents to be aware. We were not aware, and we found ourselves in this position.
So Paul, is there a message that you would like to give to other parents? Other things that you wish that you had known, things that you wish you'd been aware of?
A couple of months ago, I heard a comment made. People cannot get out of the way of what they can't see coming. We didn't see this coming. And because we didn't see this coming, it's happened. Me talking to you now is letting people know that there is a problem, there is an issue, there is a danger that you can actually get out of the way of. In here are the ashes of my daughter, and this reminds me constantly that, number one, she's with me always, but today it's reminding me that I have to try my best to tell as many parents as I can the dangers that exist from aerosols, because the companies that produce these products are not going to tell you. We're on Instagram, and our campaign is Be Aerosol Aware, and it's Bee.Angels on Instagram. So Bee, because our daughter absolutely loved and adored bees, she thought that the bee was the most incredible creature on the planet. I believe these products are too dangerous to be sold to under 16s.